happiness warrior. Welcome back to my channel. So, my purpose is to help others fall madly in love with themselves. My passion is to inspire and be inspired. I want to be the epiphany of the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to shine so bright that the diamond will look at me and say, "Girl, how do you shine like that?" So, today, the topic is, do you know how lonely feels like? I felt that loneliness is an important topic, period, to discuss, but especially alongside what's going on out there. I would not pronounce the name here, I will not give it more popularity than it deserves. So, I thought this would be a good topic for this week and ongoing. And so, as you know, everything I talk about is based on my own personal experience. I can only talk about what I know from my experience. So if you have a different experience, or if you know people with a different experience and a different story, that's okay. I understand and I respect that. So I will talk a little bit about me. Sorry, bear with me. So regarding loneliness, this is really important because I felt it before on myself, and I've also noticed it with other people, and I even feel it, right? When someone comes from a place of loneliness, to me, loneliness, the way it felt when I did experience that sentiment, it was like emptiness, like a hole inside of me, and the best way to describe it is being surrounded with a lot of people and feeling alone. Because I remember I was sending a message, an audio message to my sister, and I remember explaining to her, like, I feel alone, and I kept saying I feel alone, I feel alone. I didn't know how to explain it, and I remember her response to me was, "But I don't understand. Like, you've been alone all your life. You've always done your own thing. You've always been very independent. Like, how? Like, why is that? An issue now?" And I myself didn't understand. I'm an introvert, so I'm one of those people. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy being by myself. Like, it is the best time. Like, if you had, like, how did I call it, candid camera, like a hidden camera, you will see me having so much fun with myself, dancing, singing. Like, even some days it's like, whoa, I'm so happy to be alone. Like, I love being alone because it gives me time to replenish. It's just so nice. I don't know, I enjoy being alone. So during that time of my life, of course, this is a whole different story of a different side of my life. I think loneliness also comes from depression. So during that time of my life, I was lying to myself. Yes, we were not having honest conversations. Of course, I wasn't in this situation where I was recognizing what was going on. If I was, then I would have known, okay, I am experiencing depression, which is why this loneliness is present. No, I didn't even know that I was experiencing this depression. I just knew something was wrong. And with loneliness, everybody tries to handle it differently. People will try to find something to fill it up. Like I say, it feels like an emptiness. It feels like a hole that needs to be filled. And it feels like nothing that you try to give it feels like you're fulfilled, right? Like, it's like an emptiness, like an empty hole inside of you. And I know some people deal with it differently. Like I said, some people will use drugs, some people will use sex, some people will use um, going from one relationship to another one, to another one, to another one, never being alone, because they want to fulfill that emptiness, that hole. Like I said, everyone handles it differently. I know for me, I didn't know how to handle it, right? I'm already so picky about who to hang out, so there was no way that I was just gonna hang out with a bunch of people just because that was gonna make me even more uncomfortable. And I don't like going around other people when I don't feel centered. And so I know that at some point of my life, when I first, started dating, I would date guys, and you know, we're just gonna say it. I haven't gotten to this yet. I know that I say I'm gonna get into. I came from. I didn't have support. I didn't have emotional or mental support from my family. It was my adoptive family or my guardian, if you want. And so I came from a place of emptiness. I came from a place of wanting something, right? Like I thought if I am a certain way, then my guardian would accept me, then they would love me. But it felt like it doesn't matter what I do, it was never enough for them. And so when I started dating, it was more a thing of looking for something to fill me up. I wanted, someone to love me, someone to accept me. I wanted to feel like I was good enough for someone. And I felt like if someone loves me, that means I'm good enough. It didn't matter. To be honest, at that moment, it wasn't a conscious decision that it didn't matter. But I wasn't paying attention to the the story of these people, even if they weren't really saying the story. I wasn't paying attention to who they are truly, right? I was seeing what I wanted to see, and I was feeling what I wanted to feel. And so I remember thinking, like, if you just get the perfect boyfriend or the best boyfriend, the good boyfriend for me, right? Excuse me. Um, I thought I was gonna sneeze. I just thought, like, if I get a good boyfriend for me, then I would feel loved, then I won't feel lonely anymore. And of course, after being in a relationship, it's like, this person is not making me happy. Of course, like I say, I wasn't having this honest conversation with myself. So of course, it was like, no, I am definitely not the problem. This person is not making me happy. They're not making me happy in a relationship. Also living in this fantasy world of reading romance books and listening to music, romantic stuff, having those unrealistic expectation of relationship and romance. So of course they were not fulfilling. They were not gonna meet the standards of the Prince Charming. And of course, you get out of the relationship because they're not making me happy. I've never been someone who goes from one relationship to another because I'm too picky, like I say. So not picky, I'm selective about who I keep around in terms of energy. And so it's more like, okay, if I get in a relationship that doesn't work, I'm gonna take a while. I usually take at least 8 months, just kind of like spend time with myself because I don't actually want to date. It's one of those stuff that's like, okay, fine, I would date, I give it a chance. But it's not a priority for me. I don't know why. I don't mind it. It just feels like there are other things that are a priority. Like right now, my purpose and my dreams, right? Like it's always been something that I'm going after. But long story short, eventually I did find an amazing man, right? Like an amazing man. So if depending on what you believe, I do believe in a higher spirit, but if you're religious, you believe in God or whatever you believe in, I always felt like when I dated this man, I felt like, this is what God loves feels like, this is what unconditional love feels like. Because when I met him, I was broken, right? And I remember even telling him, like, I'm broken, I cannot date you, I'm not together, I am not a good partner right now. But he didn't see me. He showed me unconditional love, and I was still not happy, right? I remember not being happy. I remember thinking, oh yeah, maybe he was a problem. And I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and I was explaining to her what I didn't like. And I remember mostly talking about how, oh my gosh, this sounds bad, right? Oh yeah, he loves me so much. He's willing to do these sacrifices for me. Like, what are you saying? Can you hear yourself? He loves you so much. I was like, yeah, he loves me so much. He accepts me even when I'm not good enough. Like, I could be a way better partner. I'd be a way better partner, but he's okay with me like this. And as I was saying it to her and hearing it out loud, because obviously prior to this, I have not even really had that conversation with the mirror like I sometimes do, or out loud with myself. It was just in my mind. So when I heard it out, I was like, oh my gosh, he's not the problem. I am the problem, right? Because I was like, oh my gosh, like, look at what I'm complaining about. I was looking for him to feel this emptiness, to feel this hole for me. He can't. And so from there on, things started happening to me. I started just realizing that, oh my gosh, I cannot, I can never love someone else if I don't love me, right? Because I started understanding that if I don't love me, I cannot love someone else. But at the same time, someone else cannot love me the way I want to be loved if I don't know how I am supposed to be loved. This is where the wheels started turning. And somehow, I remember when I ended that relationship, I told this nice gentleman that I want to find myself. I wasn't all the way into this journey, so I didn't have all the pieces that I have now. I just knew that I wanted to find myself. I felt felt lost. I felt like, I felt like there were pieces of me that needed to reconcile together, and I was just convinced that I couldn't be with someone at that time. And um, I was already in the journey to be happy, right? I don't think I was taking um, big steps to get there. So after that relationship, for sure, because during that relationship, I hit rock bottom. I like all the way, the dark, deep hole of depression and all that. Again, with that wonderful guy, and I was trying to just be okay so he doesn't see me in that situation. So of course, after that, like I said, I took time alone. Also because I mean I'm not gonna date after dating a wonderful guy, right? Like I'm not. It's not that. I wanted to get to know me and spend time with me. So that's when I definitely went all the way through in my journey to fall in love with myself, dating myself, doing things for myself, like all the way. And ever since then, I can tell you today that feeling of loneliness has gone away. And I know that you hear, oh, okay, so you experienced loneliness and now you're not experiencing it anymore. And maybe you're still experiencing it. Maybe you're thinking, well, you don't know what it feels like. Right now, it is hard to really completely feel that. But I just know when I was there, oh my gosh, it was such a terrible feeling. Like nothing was gonna fulfill it. I remember like some people even told me, no, no one can fulfill that. Only the love of God. I grew up Catholic. I consider myself, I tell people I'm spiritual, but really because it's the easiest way to explain what I am. Really, I am nothing. I believe in love. I believe in unconditional love. I believe in loving others. I believe in forgiving. I believe in just, being there for others and serving them and showing them love. That's what I believe in. So that's what I believe. I believe in love. To make it easy and pretend to be normal. What's it? I'm spiritual. So that being the case, I remember like some people in my life would tell me, oh, it's because you're not going to church, you should go to church, you should read the Bible. I did all that. Nothing fulfilled it. Nothing fulfilled it. I just felt so empty. It's not until I really like refocused inside, started being um, introspective like I am, and taking that journey inside of me, having the hard conversations with myself, that things started coming back to me. I remember back in college, when I was working at one of my job. I believe I was a graduate assistant at the time, and so I wrote an article about passion. And I remember what I wrote about it, and those words came back to me, and they would not leave me alone. Now I don't remember exactly that how I said. I remember I even read that article, and I was like, "That's good." I'm so hard on myself. I was like, "Whoa, that was good," but it was something like I told you guys, this is raw. Like I'm not even trying to front. I'm not trying to like re-record this so it can sound a certain way. I want to be as authentic, as transparent, as raw as possible. But basically, that article, when I describe passion as passion is that still voice inside of us that tells us to keep going even when we want to give up. And I remember it kept coming back to me. It kept coming back to me, and I was like, that was well written. I wish I could see that article again. What was inspiring me? And so then after that, every time I tried to watch like anything on YouTube, like anything motivational, whenever I'm on the lesson, the same thing keeps coming back to me. So it was like purpose, and what is your purpose? How to find your purpose? How to find your life path? How to find your purpose? How to find your life path? And I was just like, I don't know, leave me alone. But like after so many readings and so many videos, what, like I said, write it down. Everything is about writing it down. I remember, I can't tell you how many notebooks, how many times I wrote down what is my purpose, how to find your purpose. So many people, so many formulas to find your purpose. And I think one thing that happened to me was admitting to myself that I love to talk. I do love to talk about the things that I like to talk about. Like this, I can talk about this all day. Like this recording, I can go on and on and on. I have a lot to say regarding this kind of topics. And some of you may be saying, oh, what does this have to do with loneliness? It is still about loneliness. Everything ties in together. Taking the journey inside of you to fall madly in love with yourself requires you to be honest with yourself, requires you to talk with yourself. And this is a recurring topic. This is a recurring commentary that you're going to hear throughout my video. Fall in love with yourself, taking the journey inside, having honest conversations with yourself. Do you know that people lie to themselves? People lie to themselves all the time. They don't even know they're lying to themselves. You do it enough time, it becomes your reality. And so I hope we can handle this. Sometimes people are so full of shit that they cannot smell their own shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I know. I say shit. And you can't handle shit. You can't handle me saying shit. I'm sorry. Do you know what's going on out there and how people have to wear masks and how we have elderly people who are afraid to leave the home? Do you know that there are kids that get pregnant as soon as women who get pregnant as soon as they start having their first menstruation at 14, at 13? Do you know that in the name of love and religion we're killing each other? So you can't handle shit? Oh, I'm sorry, I say shit. Yes, you can handle shit. You can handle me saying shit. Because sometimes people are so full of shit. They smell like shit. They feel like shit. They drink shit. They can't even smell it. They is so into it that they don't even know what, like they don't even know reality. They believe their own stuff. And so you're watching them and they smell like shit. They look, that's mean. No, I don't mean it like that, but like you're so deep into shit that you have no idea that you smell like shit. And you have to have honest conversations with yourself. Do not lie to yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling lonely. There's nothing wrong with being alone. And by the way, there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. I'm alone. Like I said, I love being alone, but I'm not lonely. But I have been lonely. I know what it feels like. And some people, because I am an introvert, I don't necessarily want to be with other people, right? I just try to find things to keep me busy. For those who are extroverted, sometimes it means being in a relationship with the wrong person, being in a toxic relationship, all that just to not be alone. Like there are people who would do anything. They will hang out with anybody just not to be alone. They will talk to anybody just so they're not alone. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is because this is our path, this is our journey, and we have to take it ourselves. You know, like yes, as human, we do have to talk with each other, and yeah, we're all related, we're all connected, but we don't die with each other, right? Like if I die today, none of you are gonna be like, oh wait, I love her so much, take me with her. No, right? It's not like that. We all have our own path, we all have our own destiny. I know that feeling of feeling that emptiness, that hole that you feel. It's basically, to me, I think it means that there's something that's missing. It is your purpose. It is your why. It is what drives you. What it drives you. What is something that makes you wake up every morning? What is the reason for what is your reason for waking up? What is your drive? What is your reason? What is your why? We talked about this. We're going to get to this. We're going to talk about our why. And I tell you about my why every day. I tell you my passion and I tell you my purpose. It keeps me going. Do you know that before I started making these YouTube videos, during the confinement, that I was full of shit and I didn't even know myself. Like I'll tell you, this is exactly what happened. Someone sent me a message like, oh, why aren't you making videos? And I started replying like, yeah, well, I haven't gotten a haircut, my hair looks a mess, like my face is breaking out, so yeah, I haven't been working out the way I want to work out. And then I was about to send it and I was like, oh my gosh, you are full of excuses. I cannot believe you. But I was so full of excuses. I didn't even realize I was full of excuses. I made my excuses reason. I was like, yeah, of course. I have all this reason as to why I'm not making videos. One of my biggest reasons was that, oh, I'm afraid. Like, I just don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like taking pictures of myself. This and that, this and that, this and that. But yet, I believe in what I'm saying that I believe. And even if I have the best product in the whole world, if no one knows about it, we're not going anywhere. If I'm saying, you know what, this is what I've done, these are the results I've gotten, but I tell nobody about it, we're not going anywhere. They say knowledge is power. I say knowledge is a potential power. It is not how much you know, it's what you do with what you know. And by the way, I did get lost. When I initially started the sentence with, do you know, I was taking you somewhere, but here we are. So all this to say what? Take the journey. I invite you. I even challenge you. Take the journey inside of you. Have real conversation with yourself. don't lie to yourself. Like, don't always look around and think that things are happening to you. Like, if the same things keep happening to you and you're the common denominator, then look inside of you and ask, is there something that I'm doing consistently? Can I change the way I'm doing it? Because if you do the same thing over and over and over and over again and get the same result, maybe it's time to change your formula. Maybe it's time to do something different so you can get different result. But what I was saying earlier was that in the topic of being lonely, when you come from a place of um, emptiness, it's hard to love. It's hard to be authentic because you're looking for love in the wrong places. You're looking for people to give you something you're not giving yourself. And like I said before, if you're just trying so hard to be with other people, if you cannot spend time with yourself, who do you think want to spend time with you? You can't spend 24 hours by yourself. You can't spend 48 hours by yourself. You just feel so lonely. You have to have someone around you. Who do you think is going to want to be around you for that long? You can't even stand yourself. You think other people are going to want to stand you? You know what I mean? Like, take time and be alone. There is nothing wrong with being alone. But if you're feeling lonely, reach out to people. If you need to get support from a counselor or a therapist, go for it. I know that people think that, seeing a therapist or seeing a counselor means you're crazy. So what? So what if it means you're crazy? So does that mean that you're not functional? But honestly, that's not what it means. Mental health doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means you're getting support so you can be stronger. So what, as long as you're getting help? Who cares about what other people think? And even just a parenthesis, that's kind of like a joke, but not really. Like, I know people think I'm crazy. They even say it to me, and they think it's a joke. Like, they think you're offending me. You're not offending me. I tell people, if this is what crazy looks like, come visit me because it looks pretty nice in crazy land. I love being crazy, doing whatever I want, being myself all day, every day. Are you serious? Having an authentic experience on earth by being vulnerable, by being myself. Yes, I know what it feels like to be lonely. Yes, I know what it feels like to just have that hole inside of you. You don't know how to fulfill it. What is your why? What is the reason that you wake up every day? What is your purpose? Write it down. Write it down. And I always talk about writing it down. So I told you that I do know what lonely feels like. Do you know what lonely feels like? Recognize the signs in you. And if you need to seek help from family members, talk about it. Tell people. If people don't know what's going on inside, they cannot help you. And I know when we're going through those times, the depression, anxiety, loneliness, and all the things put together, we feel like no one understands us. Yes, no one understands us. People are not supposed to understand you. Or no one understands exactly how you feel. People can only imagine, but it is your experience. You know exactly how you feel. Ask for help. Tell someone. Try something different. I would not advise to get in a relationship when you have that feeling of loneliness, because again, like I said, you're coming from a place of emptiness and you're looking for someone else to make you happy, and that doesn't work that way. Did you know that you have to be happy and share your happiness with your partner? They're not supposed to make you happy. Just think about how much power you put into someone's hands, but also how much pressure, right? Like, you think this person is going to make you happy? Like, this person is probably just trying to understand themselves too. So please take that journey inside of you. Learn to fall madly in love with yourself so you can heal. Because once you heal, you're not going to come from those places. You're not going to experience this thing of emptiness, that hole, something that needs to be fulfilled at all costs. This is it for me. I appreciate your time. Once again, please take care of yourself. Please take the journey inside of you. Please subscribe so you can be the first to know when there's a new video. Share this with your friends, family, or anyone that you think can help. If you have any comments to share with me, I am welcome to them. In next week, I want to talk about the power of words. The power of the word, which is very important. So that's what I have in mind now. I've had it in mind before this topic, but this topic was at the forefront of my mind. If you have a topic you would like me to discuss, leave a comment. I know some of you are shy. You keep sending me private messages. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But leaving a comment, encourage other people who are shy to leave comments. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself.